Good afternoon, hello and welcome. BTE Media's In Conversation series. Today, we welcome Michael Seaman, CEO and founder of Raccoon Events and organisers of the award-winning National Running Show. Good afternoon, Michael.
Hey, mate, how are you doing?
I'm very well. And we were just discussing, and this is a bit of history for our viewers, that where you are sitting at the moment is where it all began.
Yeah, this is the old HQ of Raccoon Events, which is basically a shed at the end of my garden.
Right.
Which now houses a treadmill,
yep.
And some cushions from the garden sofa.
There you go. So there's a lesson in that, isn't there? So, you know, from small acorns and ideas, things can obviously develop. Yeah. We are here to talk more about your recent announcement of the expansion of the running show into the US. But Michael, for our viewers, it'd be really great if you can just bring to life exactly how that event specifically, and I know you do others and we'll come and talk about that, came about.
Yeah, well, I'm a keen runner. I love running, and I've sort of took it up in sort of later life just as, you know, just something to do to stop me getting massively overweight with my horrendous drinking, which is what we all do in the exhibition industry. Yeah, so I really love running, and I went to a big marathon expo, and there were loads of people. It was amazing. It was an incredible show, and big stands that looked amazing, and they were all sort of trying to sell me stuff for my race, which was the next day. Now, if you're running, you know that's actually the absolute worst time to try something new. Particularly if a marathon for most people is kind of like a really big goal. And yeah, to sort of try something new on the next day is actually sometimes quite dangerous and give you blisters, or you can have nutrition that can upset you. So I just kind of felt it was at the wrong time of year. And I had this whole concept of building a running show that was sort of community driven and happened at the start of the year. When people, it slingshots off the back of typical race seasons. So I thought I'd try and do it. And I had this idea. It was one of those pub ideas. So I think a lot of events people have got a pub idea. So you go, you're amazed, and you go, if I had my own business, this is the event I'd run.
You were working for obviously another organizer at the time. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think I held on to the idea for about 7 years. And it was one of those ideas that just wouldn't go away. I mean, I've got hundreds, but this was one that would just never go away. And I remember I was in a car on the way back from a friend's house with my wife, and every time we had a long car journey, I'd bring this out, and she was like, "Well, you just do it." Is the polite version. And so I did, and so I left Clarion. I was working with Clarion at that point, and I left there, and I was doing some consultancy work on the side, and then I built the show. And it was just, it worked. It was everything that we said we would do, we did. And the first show did 12,500 visitors. It snowed on the day of the first show. I mean, I woke up, I was bricking it. Because you know, you wake up in the morning of your show, you go, well, snow, that's 10% off my attendance. And, you know, I was so invested in it because I'm passionate about the community. I love it. And I just didn't want it to fail. And I could have cried when I went to the front of that exhibition. There were 3,500 people in the queue at 9 o'clock on a Saturday morning. I could have cried. I almost did cry when about an hour later we had to go to 1 in, 1 out because we hit our fire number. But, you know, great.
Wow, congratulations.